I was an occasional go-to-church person with the kids, but I worked a lot. And Sunday was the day that I could, really was my day, I thought, And I would play golf and do my thing. That was my day. But then when my wife was going to church, and then I ventured out to go to church here, and I really enjoyed it. And it felt like we brought our family together by going to church together.
He was trying to find a way to make that relationship at home and with his children the best that it could possibly be.
Talking to Kyle, me and Kyle have been friends for a long time, and he's kind of like a spiritual mentor to me. And he just kind of mentioned it, hey, maybe you should go.
Camp's everything here at Stonegate, and so I thought, Jimmy, you need to go with us. We need the help, and you could serve in a lot of capacities.
And I thought, no, I'm not going to camp. I'm too busy. I got too much to do, this business and all that. My little girl wanted me to go and had to do the next steps, and I made the commitment. And then once I started going to the next steps, it was just like a calm went over me, and I thought, well, maybe this is something that I do need to do.
When we talked about baptism, I asked him the question. I said, do you know that if you died, you'd go to heaven? And he said, well, I hope so. Wrong answer. We ain't getting baptized until we get this settled.
I asked to get baptized, and Kyle said I wasn't ready.
I knew just as a relationship that he had a head knowledge about the Lord, but it had may have never reached his heart. So we talked about the Lord, and he said, I need to think about that. We'll talk about it when we go to camp. And I said, cool.
I knew in my soul it didn't feel right. I didn't want to just say, oh, I'm going to go get baptized, because there was something, I knew there was something missing. I didn't know what it was.
Patrick's preaching, and it's a strong salvation. A big part of his message was talking about to know that Jesus Christ is a part of your life. And I'm praying, God, just, I know Jimmy's there, just, Lord, please help him to be hearing this. And then Patrick does something very unusual. He has a stand-up, come forward, find your worker kind of invitation that we don't do a lot of.
People told me before I went, now, you're going to get way more out of this than the kids will. And I thought, no. But then when I seen those kids crying and walking up, and I thought, man, I want to be there. And something just took over, and I've never prayed like I prayed down there.
And then I turn and I see Jimmy there, and this big old rugged man, tears flowing.
When Kyle came over, it's just like, man, is this happening? Is this really happening? I never dreamed it would feel that way. I just couldn't believe it was happening. It's an unbelievable feeling. It's like my life had changed. It's like a calmness, and it felt like I was in his hands. It felt like he had my heart in his hands. You just feel like you're floating. I knew my life had changed forever.
It was really cool, and I knew at that point that the Lord had given him the assurance that he needed.
I knew it was special when I looked at my little girl and told her that I'd given my life to Christ. And I knew it was special when I hugged her, and when we hugged. If it was 5 minutes, it felt like 5 hours that we hugged. And I knew that she was proud. All the years that she was young, I worked. And now I've got a chance to spend more time with her, and I want her to see me as a faith guy, a man of God. If you'll allow him to come into your heart, it's a feeling that you'll just treasure. You gotta do it. You just gotta let your defense down and let him come in, and take your heart and just let it go. Let it go. When anybody asks me, what is your spiritual birthday, when were you reborn, I'm gonna have to go 6/7/17.